You're tuned in to Just One Hot Mom with host Nanika Ansari. Get ready. She's about to bring you that fire, that flavor, that heat, all that passion, and more from around the world and in your neighborhood. Stay tuned.
Hey, howdies, you are tuned into Just One Hot Mom, and I'm your host, Nanika Ansari, and it is a polar vortex inverted right now in Cleveland, Ohio. It was cold Wednesday, Thursday. I think I got my car set -4 degrees. I ain't have no business outside, but I was out there getting it with everybody else. But today, Friday, well, I think we're at a cool, warm 15 degrees. And so we are warming up. So hopefully 50 by Sunday, because we will be celebrating a baby boy. He'll be turning 15. I'm so excited. I'm glad you guys are here today because we need to get into what I got going on today. If you are watching, then you see me with my pink book. I have the author in studio with us today, Shaquila Smith. She is the author of The Diary of Her, a fictional memoir. And y'all, we got questions. We're going to get into it. We're going to figure out what's going on in this book. So, hey, Shaquila.
Hey.
Can we call you Key?
You can.
Okay. Hey, Key.
Hey.
How are you today?
Nervous.
She said she nervous. Y'all, after I picked up this book, ain't no nerves. Ain't no nerves. You put it out there. You put it on the line. It is all in the pages. I was like, and I am a quick ask anybody who knows, I'm a quick reader. So I was like, my sister was like, you done already? I was like, yes. And I'm kind of upset because I need to know what's going to happen next. So this book is a part of a trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm. So it's 2 books later.
So 2 books.
2 books.
Are you ready for those 2 books?
You're ready for
I am. So we're going to get into that. So who is Shaquila Smith and where did she appear from?
So she's me. I mean, but no, I'm a regular girl from a regular city. Not really regular though. I'm an all around just person who is been through a lot. Just like, oh, I'm sorry, that was loud.
Okay.
A nurse, a mother, a person that has seen just a lot. It started young and always seen it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't blinded by anything or anybody. So,
and I'm telling you, your character wasn't blinded
at all.
Like she put it out, I was like, it got you into the story where you could see this little girl. Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna have to go get the book. I'm not gonna release all the details, but it got you excited for this little girl who you could see who has seen so many things go on, and then she grew up into this woman. So, what made you put this story together?
So, when I wrote when I started thinking about The Diary of Her, it was 5 years ago. I was just going through a lot. You know what I'm saying? This didn't start when I was a child. I never wanted to be, to some degree, a very sheltered person. Like, as open as I am, I'm very sheltered when it comes to myself. So, when I got older, in my earlier 20s, because I'm getting up there.
It's okay, honey. You got 40 in the building right now. You are right.
No, so in my earlier 20s, I feel like I started to just experience like the worst of the worst, like the worst friendships, the worst relationships, the worst jobs, the worst everything.
Oh, wait till you hit 30.
Oh my goodness. So I just needed, you have people, like you have your family, and but those people, they just want to do it for you. You know what I mean? They don't want to let you experience life. Like my parents, I'm 26 years old. My parents still treat me like a baby. So I needed an outlet. I needed to tell it because I knew if I'm going through it and I'm this regular person, there's got to be other people that's going through it too. So that's where it came from. It was long overdue because I've been literally thinking about it, talking about it, putting it out in the universe for years, 5 years, seriously. Like people.
So how many times did you restart the story?
Oh, only twice.
Only twice?
Mm-hmm.
So you knew what it was. Like you had it in the back of your mind. You had the formula for it. You just like, I just need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you decided to like officially publish the book, like I'm going to get this out there, did you think that it would, like you had a big, huge launch party? Shout out to No Waste Gang 216 because that's honestly how I got the vibe for you. I was like, I know them. I was like, oh, they got a friend that's doing something. But did you think that it would be as big as it was, or was this for like your own private collection? Cause some stuff I write is just for me. Mm-hmm. Did you think it would be as big as it is, or did you think like this is going to just be for me?
No, it took me completely by surprise how many people gravitated towards it. So like when I started writing little inserts on Instagram, I never wanted to like do lives and stuff. It kind of just happened one day. One of my friends, I spoke at her event, Scrubs and Cocktails, and she told me, like, you need to go live. Like, just try live one time. And when I tried it, it was crazy. So I'm like, okay, let me try to make it a thing. And really, everybody else gravitating towards me made me push this book. Like, I was talking about it and I was gonna put it out, but I wasn't gonna put it out until like this year. Later on this year, book 1 was gonna come out. So it was everybody else like, when is that book coming out? I want to read that book. That's what it was for me.
So when you went live, like, were you like reading passages from the book, or what were you going live and saying to people that got them interested in purchasing the book?
So the live started out as nursing, because I'm a nurse, and at the time I had just got hired as a traveling nurse, and the live started out like that. I wanted people to ask me questions about, you know, my journey on being a nurse, a mother, like whatever, and people kind of just was like, no sis, I need your advice on this. What do you think about this? And then when I would give them my honest opinion and I would just tell them about my experience, it was like, oh my God, you so real. And it went from there. So it wasn't like nothing. I didn't give anybody anything from the book.
So you kept all of this a secret.
It was all a secret.
The whole time. So when the built up anticipation. So how did you start to build up anticipation? Because I remember like weeks before the book was supposed to come out, I started seeing this pink book everywhere. Like everywhere I went, like somebody's like, we can't wait for this to come out. We can't wait for this, tagging you in it. Like, how did you start? Or was it strictly just word of mouth where people were like?
I think that, you know, I'm not going to downplay my brand. I'm not going to downplay what I'm doing, but I think a lot of people kind of just gravitate towards what everybody else is gravitating towards, and it doesn't have to be 20 people. It could be one certain type of person that says it, and it'll just take off. So I think that people didn't really know what it was until they came and seen it for themselves, and I think that's how it just got. So my marketing strategy, it came like, it wasn't like planned out. I knew that I wanted to have a marketing strategy. Like I always wanted a visual. I always wanted stuff like that. But I don't know. Once I seen how people were like, they were like requesting it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make y'all wait. I'm gonna make y'all beg for this book.
Well, I'm gonna say you had like a dope support system, because when I say know. Like so many people were like, that's how I found out about it. So many people were going live and being like, hey, y'all go follow this page, go see Nurse Key. So at first I started following Nurse Key because I was like, well, how am I find out about the book? Then I saw somebody tag you in the page for the book, and I was like, okay. So now I'm scrolling, I'm like, oh, okay. So then I called her. I told her, I was like, I'm gonna stalk your page and find out who you are so that I could go follow you. Then I'm like, I need the book, because I was like, I could just wait and she could tell me about the book. I was like, no, but I want to read the book, see what she's all about. And then I stalked her at Bob Evans' job. I was like, she was at breakfast with her goddaughter, and I was like, I'm gonna pull up on you. I want to pick up the book. I was like, and then we ain't gonna talk no more until the show, because I was like, I want to read it and digest it and be all about the book. So what was your biggest challenge in getting the book out? What challenges did you face?
Writer's block. I had a lot of writer's block. I didn't know how much of my struggle I wanted to put in the book. And then it was times where I feel like, no, you know, they need all of this. Like, I need to tell it all, because somebody somewhere is going through something in this book, or have. So that was super a challenge for me. I didn't really want to make it so super to the T, because like I said, it's loosely the truth. So it's some events in there that people literally can pick up their phone and be like, I remember when that happened. Like, are you serious?
Do not put my name in.
Like, I remember, like, my mother, when my mother read the book, she literally had to put the book down, go to sleep, and she woke up the next day in tears. And she's like, okay, can we talk about some parts of this book, because we have to talk about it. Like, we have. Do
you think like she didn't know, like, it was she would, because the mom in the book is kind of in the book, especially in the book, it's heavy. So like, it weighs a lot.
The mom in the book is that's what I'm saying. So people who know me and people who have grew up with me, people who have been around me, when they read the book, it was more like they were reliving the book versus everybody else. So my mother was like, describe me to a T. Like, that's
oh, I like her, because she's super fly. The mom in the book is super fly,
and that's, my mother is all day long. So yeah.
So did you think though that it would have such a big impact on the people who figured out? Have a lot of people figured out who they are in the book?
So once again,
you ain't got to get no names. I'm just saying.
It's like a small, very small neighborhood of people who know what's what to the entire There's honestly though, like if you weren't there and if you don't know me personally, there's no way that you can see a person that I've been friends with or dealt with or been around and be like, oh, that part was about you. There's no way you could ever know, because even like some of my friends read the book and they be like, I would have never knew if I wasn't, like, only reason why I knew is because I was there that day or I was there during this time. Like, other than that, you did a real good job at masking.
Because I was telling you, I'm like, if I could, like, while I was reading the book, I can imagine, like, it's good that you can imagine what's going on. So it's like I'm in the club watching y'all go through this thing. I'm in the car, in the back seat, like, girls, get him together. Or I'm talking to your mother at the dinner table, like, Ma, this is how it's about to go down. So it was like you could put yourself in a character's place to play a role there. It's like, hey, you guys, if you want to call in, the number is 440-252-0518, 440-252-0518. So you said you had writer's block. What do you think was stopping you? Was it because you didn't want to give so much personal information that you released other people's identities, or was it truly is that you knew that once this was out there that the expectation for the other two books would be high?
I just think that at the time I had so much going on. When I really sat down and started writing a book, I had just had my son. So I was a new mom. Right before I got pregnant, I just became like a nurse for real. Like I just passed my NCLEX. I had just got a nursing job, and that was just a lot. So I was trying to cram I was trying to be all of these people in one. So I was trying to be a nurse, trying to be a mom, trying to be a writer, trying to be this brand, trying to just do all of these things, and it just became hard, because outside of writing about my real life, I still was dealing with my real life. So I still had, I'm writing about infidelity from a past relationship, but I was going through infidelity in my current relationship. So it was just hard for me to focus, and I'm like, I don't want to write today.
I think when it gets really real for you is when it's like, okay, like I'm going to be emotional about it. Because I know for me, when something gets too real for me, sometimes I have to be like, okay, I'm about to tell everything about myself. And I don't think what people understand is that when you're a writer, you have to be transparent. Like
Absolutely.
Transparency. Because you have to be able to tell a story that's believable. And what's more believable than something that you've actually...
Than something real.
So I was like, ooh.
What's more relatable than, how could I write a book about something that I've never been through? I could never go write a book about being a rapper or something. I've never done it. I don't know nothing about the music industry. I could never write a book about that. I can only write. And so so when I talk to people online and they say, they ask me questions like, well, how can you speak on this if you never did it? And I have to tell them, like, the only thing I speak about are things that I've actually been through. So if you hear me talking about it, just know I've experienced it in some way myself, or I've actually watched my mother or my aunts or my best friends go through it. So I have some insight. So I'm never going to this book. Okay.
But you know what, too? I also think, like, it's a release. Sometimes, like, for me personally, what I tell you, Robin, I was like, when I write stuff down, sometimes I'm like, I'm never going to talk about it again. Like, it's your actual diary. It's in here now. It's written down. I don't ever have to address any of this ever again. Whatever I told y'all, that's what it is.
What I said.
And it's written, and that's it. Put it up on the shelf. It's closed case, because I think sometimes we do more damage to ourselves when we relive stuff over and over and over again. But if I write it and I get it out.
Writing this book was hard for me just because I was reliving those events. You know what I mean? So as I'm writing it and I'm trying to put the details and make it all match up, I'm trying to remember it correctly because it all happened so long ago. It was so hard for me. There were days when I sat and I just cried. Like, did I really go through that? Like, did I really allow myself to get to a point where I am now writing a book? Like, was it that bad for me? Which is why when you talked about the expectation for book 2 and book 3, I'm writing book 2 now, and I'm currently on chapter 8, and I'm like, book 1 ain't got nothing on book 2. So, because book 2 starts off just
from the way you ended book 1, I was like, we about to get all the way live. Like, I'm like, I want to know how she gonna start off, because y'all gotta get the book. But the end of book 1, I tell y'all, like, I was so smart. I was sitting here reading. I was like, and I didn't realize I got to the end of the book, and I was like, she is not gonna leave me hanging. I started to, honestly, y'all, it was like 10:30 at night. I started to DM you and be like, okay, so if you could just give me the first paragraph of the next book, then I can go to sleep and know what happened to the character.
And so with book 1, I was so anxious for feedback. I sent my book to a family member, and I sent it to somebody who just didn't know me from a can of paint. I'm just like, hey, I'm writing a book, can you read it and let me know what you think? And I decided that this book, I'm going to keep the anticipation high for everybody. Like, I don't want anybody to know what's going to happen in book 2, because now I know what I'm capable of.
Because I would stalk people and find out what happened.
Yeah.
I could imagine people talking like this. You wouldn't be able to keep this part quiet, because people are probably talking about, if you read the whole book, you're talking about the end of the book and trying to figure out, like, girl, who is that and what happens to the person? So I was just like, when you're getting it out there in your thought process and you're writing it, like, the expectations for book 2 and then book 3, like, you really challenged yourself. What made you make this into a trilogy and not just write it all out in one book?
For reasons like that. To end it like that, and
is it marketing? No, I'm just kidding.
Definitely marketing, but to end it like that and to have you wanting more. Like, I knew that if everybody wanted more from me, that I had did what I was supposed to do, because I didn't know how people, I know how I make me feel when I write, but I didn't know how it's gonna make anybody else feel. You know, you kind of don't know how people are going to accept your work. And when I tell you, there is not one day that goes by that I'm not talking to somebody either about this book, or they just want to talk to me, period. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to be somebody's person. You know, for so long I craved real friends. I craved real, like, relationships with men or just whatever. So now that I have those, I know that people ain't just out here just telling their business. You know what I mean? They don't trust people. First of all, if they can't tell their best friend, why in the world would they tell me? So it lets me know, like, they see something in me that they don't see in anybody else, and it's all from this book. Like,
well, yes, because you're transparent with yourself. So it's like, if she could put all her stuff out there and tell it, and there's actual some resolve. Like, the way it's written is like, you know, she knows that she's in the danger zone. So the main character, Simone, knows that she's in the danger zone, but she continues to be in the it's not like she doesn't know any better. She does. She's very aware. So you see that conflict within her. So y'all gonna have to read it. But you see that conflict within herself, like, hey, I know this is wrong, but I'm still drawn into it. And how many of us, no matter what age you are in life, are going through that, where you know something is putting you in the danger zone, that you're risking it, but you keep doing it. Why do you think I'm sorry.
Someone texted. I just saw a pop
okay.
up.
What did they say?
The phone line. I don't know. I didn't know you could do
okay.
that. They want to know where to get the book.
Okay. Hold on. We're going to drop her information. So, well, I promise y'all we're going to give the information to y'all. But, you know, I'm sorry, that threw me off. Go ahead. You might as well go ahead and tell them. Go ahead and tell them where to get the book.
Is on Amazon. The book is on Kindle as an ebook. You can get it on my website, www.thediaryofhertrilogy.com, or if you're an impatient person, I have books on hand, and you can DM me, contact me, and we can find somewhere to meet up, and I will hand deliver you a signed book.
See, and I was like, yes. So I was like, I cannot get this in the mail. I need it right now, because I was like, I need to know what our conversation is going to be about. But again, so when we go back to, like, talking about your transparency and putting it all out there on the line, you're building us up the anticipation. Are you nervous about book 2 and book 3?
Nope, I'm ready. I was nervous.
I like that. Ready.
I was nervous about book 1 because I never wrote a book in my life. Didn't know what was going to happen. When I released my book, and so I was there, like, I seen people and I was present, but I was just not present. Like, I was there, but I really was not there. So when everybody told me the amount of people that were at my book release, you know, this wasn't an event that I collaborated on or had to throw somebody else's name on to make it, you know, big or whatever. When they told me the number, I said, you've got to be kidding me. I didn't do that all by myself. Really? So, book 2, I'm ready. Oh, I'm so ready for book 2. And I'm writing it so fast that I'm scared. Like, am I writing it too fast? Should I slow down? Did I miss something? Am I doing? No, I mean, 7 chapters already written, edited it, perfect. Like 7 chapters
so you're
already.
ready. So we're 7 chapters in. If you need a review, I just need to know what happened after the end of book 1. But I was like, that's a big feat, because there are people that take years and years, like myself, take years to get a book out, because you get stuck and you don't, like you said, you don't know. You're putting everything out there on the table for people to view, to judge you. Like whenever you do something like this, you're putting yourself out there to be judged. Okay, so that was the question we'll go back to. Why do you think, though, we as women, because in the story, we as women go through this all the time, why do we go through that? We know we're dipping in the pool, we know it's wrong, but we continue to put our feet in the fire. Why? I know you get that question. Why do you think we do it?
I just think that we're hard-headed beings. Some women just have to see for themselves. I know I constantly dabbled or knew that was bad and wanted to do it anyway, because I had a person telling me that I couldn't do that.
Oh, that's a big one for me. Like, don't tell me I can't do something.
So, I was in this situation. I was in this relationship with this person that I just loved so much, and all I wanted to do was love him. Like, I just wanted to just love him. It didn't matter what I had to do it. I wanted to love him, and it started because he kept telling me that he couldn't be loved. He kept telling me that nobody ever loved me. Like, it's hard to love me. Like, I'm a hard person to deal with. And if nobody else could deal, I know you can't. So don't even try. And I'm like, who you talking to? I can do this. Like, and it became a challenge for me. But a challenge turned into turmoil. And it turned into, it just got, it just spiraled 100% out of control. And it was just like, okay, now I'm knee deep. Like, what am I supposed to do? Because he wasn't lying. Like, this is hard. Like, he was not lying. Like, and then I learned that it wasn't hard because it was hard. It was hard because he was making it hard. Because the more harder he made it, the more I tried, the more love I gave him.
His challenge was to make it hard for you, so that you could try to go harder for him. But I said, we often, a lot of times, we as women do that, though. We'll be like, I don't know, I never thought about that. Like, it's a challenge. It's triggered in your mind. Like, you know what, you're not going to beat me. I'm going to beat you. Because, like, in the book, I'm sure that every woman has been to a point where something is wrong. Like, you know it's wrong, but you do it anyway. And you don't just do it one time. You continue several times to do it.
Over and
it's
over
and over again. So I was wondering, I was like, why do we do that? Especially women. We just continue to step in the fire and we get burned multiple times, but we continue to do it. Now, because she's still in the fire.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she let me tell you, Simone, we call her Mo, and then that's my daughter's name. Really? So yes, so I'm reading it. I'm like, she better not be out here. But so Moan is in the fire, but she gets away, and we do that as women. We step away from the situation only to be drawn back in. What do you think draws us back in?
Control, manipulation. When you genuine, I'm not talking about fake love, like when you really love somebody and you conjure up the courage to walk away or whatever, and that love comes back to you in the form of, I changed, this is what I want, you're who I need. You know what I mean? The first thing, your instinct is, forget where I was going. I'm coming back.
I'm all about you.
I'm all about you. So now that you're all about me, I was already all about you. But now that you're all about me, now I can really be all about you, because that's what I wanted to do anyway. And I think that's, I was on live the other day. I did a live and I allow men to do live with me. Like, I let them join my live just to get their opinion, because they always think that I'm trying to bash them or whatever. And so I asked them that, like, why is it that when we leave, what is it that makes y'all, what is it that makes y'all get it together then? And he said it flat out, we're selfish. We don't want to see you with anybody else. Even if we don't want you, we don't want to see you with anybody else. And I think that, I'm not saying that men don't love us. I'm not saying that there's not a point that they don't want to be with us, but I do think that it's a pride thing. It's an ego thing. They can't watch another man do for the woman that loves them.
Like, how could you love them when you claim to have loved me so deeply and so much? How dare you go off and love somebody
because you didn't want my
else?
love. You didn't want my love, and now there's somebody who does want it. Now you want to come back and act like you want it, and you just want it because you don't want nobody else to have it. It's a never ending
cycle.
Ooh,
but you can say that women do that too, because a bunch of women, honey, like, they don't want you, but they don't want to see you happy nowhere else.
I was talking to somebody else. I was talking to a girl. She was commenting on my live, and she was saying how she was dating somebody. He's a really nice guy, but she doesn't like him. So, you know, we posed the question, well, why don't you leave? And she's like, because he perfect. I don't want to see him with nobody else.
So ruin somebody else's life because you can't make up in your mind. See, y'all, that's how we ruin good people. That's how we mess good people up, because this man could be perfectly fine. He's just not perfectly fine for you. And I think a lot of times we have to have that hard conversation, that self-reflection, to be like, okay, I may be damaged goods right now.
No, we don't want to accept that it's a hard thing. It's a hard pill to swallow. You know, you don't want to. Everybody wants to seem okay. Everybody wants everybody else to have the flaws. You know what I mean? And
you be perfect. Or you appear to be
and
perfect.
You just want to just be okay. Like, you just want to be just this person who doesn't have anything going on. Like, and that's not the case. I used to ask, you know, people that I've been with, I used to ask all the time, like, why won't you just let me go? Like, if you know that you can offer me nothing, if you know that all you bring to me is pain, then why won't you let me go and go let somebody else, you know, be good to me? If I'm this perfect person and I deserve all these good things, then why won't you let me go to go be good somewhere else?
And that is in the book. No answer. I'm thinking, I'm like, chapter 5. No, for real though, because it does seem like that it's a constant struggle between men and women to constantly be like, you know, we're not good for each other. Let's admit that. Like, we're not good for each other. So why can't we collectively go our separate ways? But I think it's on both ends. I don't want to see you with somebody else, and you don't want to see me with somebody else.
But we don't want to be with each other. It's crazy.
Or we don't want to treat each other right.
It's crazy.
So that's a whole nother thing. Y'all got to get the book. I'm gonna ask some questions about the book in a minute, like in the second part. But I want to get out I want to know your process. So how do you handle supporters and naysayers? Because, you know, there are people that are like going hard for you, like, yes, this is my girl, go check out her book. But then there are those who are like, girl, okay, you wrote a book. How are you handling that now?
I embrace it all just because I need it all. It's a balance for me. You know what I mean? I don't expect everybody to agree. I don't expect everybody to like it, support it, whatever. I expected more people to be opposed to it versus people to embrace it as much as they did. So I actually came out with a win, because it's like so many more people who love it than they don't like it. And then the people who don't support it are people who just have an indifference with me, period, for whatever reason, from 16 years ago, whatever. You know what I mean?
They coming out the woodwork.
Yeah, it's not.
She ain't even know how to write.
It's not. I don't get the naysaying from people who don't know me. Like, it's literally somebody who is catty. I'll say that. So
she said childish.
Yeah, it's literally it's nothing else. Like, I literally, majority of, if I had to put naysayers and supporters on the scale, the supporters tip the scale for sure. Like, it's so, but I embrace it all just because I'm not opposed to it. If you don't agree with it, you don't have to. But you can't deny, you know, if you're a woman, you can't deny that at some point in your life you went through something in my book, and I don't care what you say. So, and as a man, you can't deny that to some degree you weren't the best man to whoever you were with in my book. So I don't care. So either way, I don't care.
But you know what? Sometimes people will be naysayers because they see themselves there. Like, she couldn't have went through this, because let me tell you how I would have handled. But I'm telling you, like, how she handled it in this book, I've seen a lot of women, including myself, handle things that way just because you're trying to push through. You're trying to get through. Like, depression is real in the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, not being completely in love with who you are as a person, so you loving all other people, is real in the book. And so we see that so often, but we don't recognize it in ourselves. It's easy to see it in you, girl. Like, I see you need to get him together and what you need to do. But I like the fact that the book doesn't necessarily give you advice. It doesn't say, like, it doesn't make her seem like a hero in there. It's like, it's really real. It's like she's going through this, and she's upset, and she's sad, and she's going through every emotion that you go through when you're in a relationship that you know you don't need to be in.
I think that when I first told everybody that I was writing a book, the way that my Instagram was going and the things that I was saying, people thought that my book was a guide to get you through a bad relationship. Like, they thought I was gonna come with a list. Like, this is like a Think Like a Man book. Like, I told them this is literally the epitome of going through it and getting through it. Y'all wanna go through it? We're gonna go through it together. Y'all gonna go through it with me, and then we can talk about it, and I'm gonna go through it with y'all. But y'all not gonna get through it till book 3. So y'all think y'all went through it in book 1, y'all gonna really go through it in book 2, and then book 3 is that's the the release.
The food moment. I'm telling you, like, even here, like I said, there were moments where I was like, dang, like I had to put it down and come back to it because I was like, that was a lot to take on. So I could imagine in your writing process that it was an extremely a lot to take on.
Emotional. Just because, like you said, you don't realize you can't call your own bluff when you're in it. Like, so the things that my friends used to try to show me and tell me, I would be like, no, it's no way possible. I'm not going to do that. Like, it doesn't look like that. Like, I'm not doing it. When I stepped outside of myself and I stepped outside of how I felt, when I stepped outside of all of that and I decided I'm writing this book and I started writing it, I'm like, ooh, okay, yeah, this is tough.
This is deep.
Yeah,
but did you ever like think back and looking like that? I went through a lot of stuff, and I'm still here because I think that's what people miss. Is like you go through a lot of things in life, but you're still here. You're still surviving. You're still making it.
Well, and because I'm still here, it's hard for people to believe that I went through so much.
Because wait, so we can say Simone is loosely based off you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking like, look, y'all, she don't even know I'm checking out her bill because I'm like, Simone is built like this.
No, I've always said that the diary of her is loosely about my life. Nobody else's life. I didn't take nobody else's. This is all about me.
And so you put a lot out there, there. That was a lot of transparency. And then when I got it, I was like, okay, I'm like, she just gonna give me this little bit of information to get through. But it was so detailed, and it's written like a diary. So then you are like entering. Well, you know, a diary is private, so you're entering somebody's most intimate thoughts, and they're releasing it to you. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to know nothing else about what else you got going on.
So the concept is, Simone is married to Nari, obviously, and
you ain't got to give it all to.
No, I'm not. Okay. I mean, just a brief. She's so in love with him, like she loves him past herself, and he knows that, but it doesn't stop him from being who he is. It doesn't stop him from, having the street life, having the extra women. It doesn't stop any of that, but he's so wrapped up into having that he doesn't even realize that, as much damage that he's doing at home. So Simone,
and ain't that how the story goes?
Simone gradually, after going through it though, she gradually finds herself. She gradually says, you know what, I'm getting tired, and that's how we get to the very beginning of the book where Nari come home, house done
empty.
For. And
I felt like that was what's that movie, Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
And the only thing that
but reverse.
The only thing that he finds is the only thing that she had. You know what I'm saying? Here she has this husband, she has this big house, and he knew not one thing about her.
Yeah, because he was shocked. Like he had, like y'all in the book, he put the book down because he can't deal with some of the stuff that she got going on.
But he didn't know. And the reason why he didn't know is not because she didn't want to tell him, it's because he never took the initiative to know. All you knew was that you fell in love with how I looked. That's what you wanted. I was this beautiful
there was no
person.
Substance.
It was nothing else. You knew that I was a nice person. You knew that I looked very good, and you just knew that you didn't want anybody else in the world to have me, period. You wanted me to know everything about you, but you took no time to find out anything about me. So every night that you out cheating or whatever, all I have is my diary, and so I'm gonna write it all out. And when I leave you, you can figure it out then.
And sisters, if you want to get your brother to rewrite a diary, because he was all up in her Kool-Aid when he finally started to learn about her. He was reading all throughout her diary. Like, he ignored all his phone. To get a man to ignore phone calls, like his phone was going off in the book so that he could read about who she was and what she had going on.
But if you notice, he wants to find out why she left.
Yeah, it's not about her. It still ain't about her.
It still ain't even about her. He wants to know if and he don't even think that she just got up and left because she was tired. He thinks she left for another man. So that's what he wants to find out. He's focused on her leaving him for another man. His ego's still real tied up in this. So we gonna break Nari all the way down, though. We gonna break Nari down.
So does Nari get broken down in book 2?
Ooh.
Or does it wait till book 3? I'm gonna need to know because
Nari
just
gets
happened.
brought down to his knees in book 2.
Well, he kind of did at the end of book 1.
Nope.
Dang. Hey, hotties. We are talking with Shaquila Smith. We're talking at the Diary of Her, a fictional memoir. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back because she's going to give us a few little tidbits about this book. Stay tuned. Hey hotties, welcome back. We are in the studio with Keith Smith and we are talking the diary of her, a fictional memoir. And so the time has come. We about to get some details about this book because we just talked. I told her don't tell y'all nothing about book 2. She could just release a little bit to me so that my curiosity is quenched. I just need to know a little bit. So here are some of the questions I had. I had to make notes because I was like, okay, I don't want to give too many details of the book away, but I do need to know some stuff.
I'm ready.
Do you believe men like Nari? Because you told us a little bit about him before we took a break. Do you believe men like that ever grow up? Like, is there ever a point where they just decide to stop playing these games, stop being selfish? Do they grow up?
I do. I guess that's just me being hopeful and having faith in things that I can't see.
I know that's right. Bring Jesus.
I think that, I don't think that it happens for a person. I don't think that it takes an event. I just think that it's something that happens when they're absolutely ready. Because all of the Naris that I've encountered in my life, they didn't get to a point, when they got to a point that they were ready to change and grow up, it was too late. Like, I had mentally checked out. I was already emotionally, shattered. Yeah. So not even I wasn't like emotionally with another person. It was just, I was not emotionally present there because they had sucked all of the emotions from me. So, and it seems like it always happens like that. They always grow up or change when you have already washed your hands with it. So,
and then they want to crawl.
But I do think that it happens. I don't know when it happens. I would love to put an age on it, but I have older brothers. I have a dad who,
they still
play all
pray
day. For real.
Pray for y'all. Okay, does Nari ever grow up? This is probably does he ever grow up?
He does.
Okay. That's all. Don't say nothing else. I just wanted to know.
I guess Nari has to grow up. He married her.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't know. Just because they get married don't mean I ain't bashing y'all. I'm just saying.
But I don't think, Nari didn't marry her because he loved her. He married her to keep her. He didn't want to leave.
That was it. Y'all, that part is in the book, y'all, so get that part. Okay, so do you feel like we all as ladies have a friend like Simone? Like somebody, you keep telling your girl, like, you is too good for him. Like, why do you stick with him? Why do we stick with them even though our friends are like, don't do it? And why don't our friends be more forceful with us?
Because how many times have you seen a friend try to tell their friend about their man and that friendship lasts?
The fifth of never.
Anytime that I've ever I'll just take full responsibility for myself. Anytime that I had a friend going against my man that I love, that I'm into, that I'm head over heels for, you come opposing him, you got to go. I don't care who you is.
And so you check out.
So you think that your friend is not, you mistake it with your friend is not supporting you. And then you got, when I was in relationships, I always had the guy telling me, well, she jealous of you. She hating on you. She don't want to see you with me because da-da-da-da-da. Or what, it's, and so then that gets in your brain like, well,
why she not happy for me?
Why she not happy for me? Her and her dude is on bad terms, so why she want to come? You know what I mean? And then in reality, it's like, but are you and your dude on good terms? Your friend is telling you that your man is cheating on you. So how are,
And I'm in the book, she get details. So she's like, I'm not even friends with this person, but a friend of a friend. We got facts and pictures. And I'm like, dang, like it got really detailed. And for her to be like,
And that was a very real, that really happened.
That was really real.
There are probably about 2 events in this whole book that are not true.
So the rest of this is y'all gotta go get the book one so we can start a book club so we can talk about it.
People keep telling me to start a book club.
It was just, I'm trying to think, I can't even imagine the 2 events that are real because it was the way it's written. It's like you are there and you're watching it happen to her and you're like, dang, how do you deal with that? But then you can honestly say like stuff like that has happened to me where we've been out somewhere and you get embarrassed by a person, yet you still rock with that person despite the fact that they embarrassed you.
Oh, embarrassing is
because honey, he really embarrassed her, and they start to isolate you because we see that a little bit. Like you only belong to me. I only want you here with me. So you being with anybody else is you being against me, and you don't want that person to feel like they're against you. I'm not telling the butcher. I'm just speaking real life.
I've had a situation where I had to choose between my boyfriend and my friend. My friend was trying to literally tell me something like, look, I know for a fact that this is what's going on, and this is somebody I have been friends with for over 5 years. So, and then when I presented it, I'm like, yo, this is what's going on, and he like, well, you don't choose your friend or you don't choose me, because if you choose your friend over me, like, that's like the worst thing in the world that you could ever do, and I'll never talk to you again. I'll never be with you. I'll never love you, nothing. So if you've been through all of this to get me to love you, and now I love you, but if you choose your friend, I will never. And it was like, bye, friend. Like, and it's
but that's a sad truth.
It's not laughable at all, because I have now that I'm older, I ask myself, like, why is it so easy for us to forgive our men who do the worst things to us?
That's good that you put that quote out there, because it was like, how come it's so easy for women to forgive a no good, cheating, you got the fact proven man, but you won't forgive your female friend who you just fell out with maybe over coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy for you to forgive for a man for doing that, but why is it so hard for us to give our female friends, the people we're supposed to support and be in solidarity with?
I asked, and I wanted to know, like, was sex a factor? Like, is that the leading factor? What is it? Because I don't have the answer, because I have literally stopped talking to my friends over a dispute via text and forgiving a man the same day, and I caught him cheating on me with another one. I caught you. And as soon as you left, you called me, and now we back, and I ain't about to talk to my friend.
And for years and months. And
for years.
And if we see each other in public,
it might be on site. Yeah, no, for real. That's what I'm saying.
That's something that's really sad that we as a women need to address with each other. Like, hey, let's just have an adult conversation and say, hey, and even if we're not friends after this, even if it goes to that point, at least we worked it out. But
why does it have to go to that point? You know what I mean? Because you'll never sit down with your man and say, okay, you cheated on me, but I want us to talk about it, and we don't got to be together after this. No.
You ain't gonna talk about it.
It's sad, and it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that a lot of the relationships that I salvaged with men, I feel like if I would have put that same energy into my friendships that were ended, I probably would still have those friends.
So let's ask this question. Have you been able to go back after this whole thing and after you put it out here in the book and salvage some of these relationships, or where there was like too much damage was done?
Well, the relationships get mended over time. So anything that I'm not currently a part of right now are for whole new reasons. So it's
got a new bag for you.
No, like literally some people, there are just some people who you outgrow. Some people who you just, once you change and they change, the people that y'all changed into are just not compatible people anymore, Back then, I probably had friends for the strangest reasons, because we were either going through the same thing, or we were partying, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, now I'm a totally different person, and now I'm attracting new people. You know what I mean? I'm attracting people who are like me, who want the same things. And this is not to say that you don't still love those people. It's not to say that, you don't miss those people or whatever, but the person that you grow into, you can't go back just to bring certain people rich, because everybody can't go.
Well, my sister and I talked about on our show, we did a show called The Imposter Friend, and it's like some people are around for that season. You know what I'm saying? That even if the season is for a long period of time, you keep them around for that season, then when it's time to grow, you just move on. But the part that's hard is the moving on, and I think that's because you really, like, some of these relationships with men are fantasies, but you really build real connection with these people that are your friends, and that's why it's hard for you to leave them in some instances than it is for you to be like, you know what I'm saying, just cut somebody off because of your man. So you know what I'm saying. So when you have that season of when something is over with, it's harder for you to get rid of them than it is for you just to be like, you know, people don't realize that they outgrow each other. So as you've changed or you acting funny or you got a man now, so like that, people don't realize that they tend to outgrow each other. When you outgrow a person, you know, that's just what it is. And so I think if we start to have adult conversations, again, all it is communications. Like, hey, we still cool, girl. It's just that I'm going a different path now, and I'm going here. All right, so y'all, that was just a little life lesson. Let's get back into this book. What makes this, because it is a love story in some way, shape, or form. Somebody is loving somebody. What makes this love story unique outside of other love stories? Because like we mentioned earlier, like Diary of a Mad Black Woman, we hear that story about a man cheating and then, you know, putting the wife out and then she finds love somewhere else. Or we see Two Can Play That Game. Like this, I'm thinking of all the movies like I just watched recently while we was out on break. Like, what makes this love story unique for you?
Because Nari never not loved Simone. He always loved her. He just loved her the best way that he knew how. You gotta understand. Oh, we get into Nari in book 2. Like we get into Nari's childhood. We get into Nari's, you know.
Ooh. You know what? I wondered that because I'm like, who raised this man? Because it's a little bit of it in book 1 of how he was raised, but we have to assume because he's lying about it, and partially like how he was raised. Well, you gotta
understand, Simone meets Nari's mother at the end of book 1.
I know.
So we get into who Nari is because Simone,
because she had never met her before. What happened at the end of book 1?
Right, never. She had, you know, Nari kept his family a secret. He kept all his innermost.
Because he was basically living with her family at one point.
Yes.
He was living there, staying there. He had socks, shoes. You know, I think because we as women, we embrace the whole relationship. We want you to be with us. We want you to be around us, meet our family, meet our friends.
And so Nari constantly put it to Simone like her family and the way that she was raised was like utopia to him. He had never seen it. It was like it was something that he had never seen, so it was something that he wanted. He was like, you know, my family don't love me like this. My family don't treat me like this, which is why I'm a cling to you. I'm a gravitate to you because my family. Oh, but we get into Nari.
We get because like at the end of book 1, when it's like the mother, when she gets to meet the mother, I'm like, well, that's a way to meet somebody, mama. Like, how do you go from I ain't never met your mother, I only know maybe 2 relatives, to her reaching out to me? Like, that totally freaked me out. I was like, wait, did she mean the mother or the grandmother? Then I said, oh no, she meant the mother.
The mother.
So, but why do you think Simone was okay? Why do you think Simone was okay with not meeting his family? Because they dated for a while and she just never questioned it. She just went with the flow.
Because with Nari, you can't ask no questions. It's what I say, and that's just it. And if you gonna be mine, then you gotta just trust what I'm saying and don't question anything that I tell you. I ask the questions. You just take direction, and that's exactly what was going on in a relationship.
And that is exactly how the book was. Like
Nari treated Simone, as far as on the lines of control, like a little girl, like his daughter of some kind, like a prize,
like a puppet. Yeah, like she was just she was the trophy.
And so, in retrospect, Simone looked up to him like, you know, she admired him like she does her dad. She takes direction from him.
And
like he's her father.
It's daddy issues in the book too, because when her father just slightly, we know a little bit about him. Do you go deeper into the parental characters or no?
No, you know, once because that was a lot. That was a lot. So I think that we left Simone's childhood in book 1. Like, we tapped into it. We got into her mother. You see how, you know, Ronnie stayed with Leo through the most treacherous things, and now you see Simone repeating those same mistakes. So we get into generational curses, and we get into just a lot. But book 2 is more about Nari than it is.
I am interested to learn about him because
we don't know anything about him. We just know that
we just know what she wrote, and we know what she wrote about him, but she hasn't revealed his complete self to her
at all.
Ooh. Now is the next book his diary or is still her diary?
No, so it's still her diary, but you know how it breaks off, and then we hear Nari's opinion about it a lot. You know, Simone writes a lot about things that she picked up about Nari that he didn't even notice that she noticed about him. Like, he thought that he was keeping himself hidden so well, but Simone is so in tune with him. She loves him so much that she knows when he turns the corner the wrong way. Like, she knows when he's off. So she reads Nari his rights, and when he, you know, steps outside of reading the diary and he reflects on it, he's like, I mean, she was right, but this is my mother, my father, this is what I have to go through. And
so book 2 is Nari based. I'm telling y'all, first of all, get into book 1 so you can learn the development of Nari and who he is. And we learn a little bit about him, but it's him watching her is what really gets to me, because he is like, he's just learned about her. This is a woman that he married. You gave vows, you know, you took vows with this woman, yet you don't know her at all, and you're just learning about her. And it's actually hurting his feelings a little bit to realize that he didn't know anything.
But he's approaching it wrong. Like, he thinks that because he didn't know that she's a secretive person and she's deceitful and she's a liar.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, you know
like
what I mean? Like, so he's not approaching it like, I didn't, you know, explore my wife. My wife is a secretive liar, and maybe I shouldn't have married her anyway. You know what I mean? Maybe everything that I did is justifiable because I didn't know any. But we break Nari down because Nari is a battered man who has never dealt with the pain in his life. You know, he has to be tough all his life. He has to be a man at an early age. He has to do all of these things, and all he knows is that when he wants something, he get it. And that's he got Simone at her most innocent. She was as innocent as she could be as an adult. She had never been through anything. She had one boyfriend in her life. You know, she was in college. She had these parents that were married.
I felt so sorry for the ex-boyfriend. I kind of felt sorry for him.
And so,
I know you don't want to feel sympathy for him, but it was like, because when he did the thing he did for her birthday, I was like, dang, like, that was so sweet. Read the book.
Right, I know.
Find out what he did, but I was like, dang. But she obviously had outgrew him.
Absolutely.
And that's the part.
And she wanted something more. Like, she want, you know, she was way past him.
But that's the part in the book where I think we see her maturity, is where she knows, like, she doesn't want to be involved with him, so she takes the steps to get out of that. And I was like,
and
so
then she walked into something completely different.
So I'm like, as we see that part, as we see her do something so mature, something that even grown women past her age can't do, and then to step into this is like, okay, but you still a little girl. We still got like a lot of lessons to learn. Okay, so when can we expect book 2?
Okay,
y'all gonna get the book.
So it's taking a lot of self-discipline and a lot of you know, it's me. I have to do this, and I have to be dedicated, and I have to be serious. And if I stay on that path, we can expect book 2 on or around my birthday, which is August 27th. So it'll be a birthday gift for me, but we'll all get to celebrate together. So
I'm so excited, and I can't wait. Like, I'm probably gonna be DMing you like, are you almost close to finish? Like, she said she like near chapter 8, y'all. So I'm like, okay, good. That means like we got like 11 more chapters to go. Like, I've counted it out for you, so don't even worry about it. But it's such a good, like, I think like a lot of young women and a lot of older women will be able to relate, because either you're going through this, you've been through this, or you're trying to stop somebody who this is happening to. And then I think even for us to see it from the men's perspective, like to learn about Nari, we'll see some of the men that we date in this. We'll see our sons, we'll see our fathers, we'll see uncles and brothers, and so you can kind of reflect. I think it's going to help some people with the daddy issue thing. It's going to be like,
and men with mommy issues is definitely going
to. Nari's going to have some mommy issues.
Yeah.
I cannot wait, because we very rarely see that men have mommy issues. It's always about the woman having her daddy issues and a man coming along and rescue her. But we hardly ever see it from the side where a man has mommy issues and how they deal with that. And they have them. Trust and believe, and they have them. All right, so how can we continue to reach out and support you and get the book and have discussions? How can we do all of that?
I am a active Instagrammer, so I'm on Instagram all day long because I'm constantly either posting something, updates. I have to be on there to keep this brand alive. So nurse.key, that's my personal Instagram, and then the Diary of Her Trilogy is my business Instagram, and I'm on both of them all day. More on my personal one, But I'm on there all day. Either that, the Diary of Her Trilogy at gmail.com. If you go to my website, I have a chat section, where if you just want to talk to me, if you want me to talk back, you go there. Yeah, so that's...
Okay, can you drop again for us how they can purchase the book? Because somebody asked again, so go ahead.
So the book is on Amazon. It's on Kindle as an ebook. My website, the www.thediaryofhertrilogy.com, and or DM me, comment, and I will find a way to meet you, and I give hugs, and
she did. She hugged me and gave me my book. I'm like, okay, girl, I gotta go. I gotta start reading this book. But I just want to say, like, for first time out, I can understand why people are super proud of you for what you put all into this book. For a first timer just to come out and lay it on the line, this was a great read, and I cannot wait to get into part 2. And let me tell you, I am a total geek. Like, it takes me nothing to get through books, and I could probably get into like 5 books in a month and be done with them and review them and be like, oh, you keep this one or you not keep this one. So I was excited. Initially I was like, oh, it's gonna start off so, but no, we jumped right into it and we started learning and we started developing the characters, and by the end of it I'm like, I can't believe that she just left me hanging, and I don't know what happened to Nari. Something gonna happen to Nari, y'all. We ain't gonna let y'all know, but something is gonna happen to Nari. So I'm extremely proud of you, and I'm thankful that you allowed me to. And I'm thankful that you came on the show. Hotties, you know that you can follow me and the hottest kids on my blog at justonehotmom.com. It's some fire going over there. We are getting your kids ready to elevate their lives and set their goals. You can reach me on all my social media at justoneHotMom. Guess what, hotties? You've been tuned in and you've been elevated. Talk to you soon.